What's going on, guys? My name is Andrew. Welcome back to a brand new exciting video. Okay, Confession Friday. So that intro sequence had nothing to do with this video, just thought it looked cool, so I thought I'd include it in this video. By the way, guys, if you are here just to learn how I shoot my cinematic sequences, click to the number that is on the screen. I don't want to keep you here if you're not interested in the rest of the vlog, but if you are interested in vlogs and things of that nature, be sure to stick around. Oh, look, that's the cat. That's a 30-foot drop. Well, more like a 20, but that's still really sketchy. He runs up the edge right there and then jumps. Right now, I'm on my way to play some Top Golf with my brother who's at college. He lives around here though, which is nice. He's a film major. Look at that, that's huge. It's fun.
I didn't leave exactly on time anyway, so. Do something cool with your feet, like twist your feet, like the pro way. Yeah. Nice.
Alright guys, so I'm back home now from doing Top Golf with Noah. I had a super good time hanging out with him. I'm awful at golf. The first two swings that I went for, I completely missed the ball. Eventually I got the hang of it and I started swacking them way out there. Anyways, I'm going to make a shake now for lunch, and then I'm gonna head outside and we're gonna be talking about my trampoline, because I recently, well not that recently actually, but I got a part for the trampoline, and these trampolines I love. I've used them for a while, so I wanted to do sort of like a review for you guys of this trampoline and talk to you about why I like them so much. But before I do that, it's time for a shake. So I was just going about making my shake, and as you guys can see, I was placing things on the counter as if I was getting them out to make the shake. And then I was carrying the blender over to put on the counter here, and the top part of the blender, the plastic bottle, fell off and cracked. And now it's a ninja star. It happens. So ever since I was a little kid, one thing that I always wanted was a trampoline. Whenever I went over to my friend's house, I'd be like, whoa, you have a trampoline? So when I got older, I finally was able to actually buy myself my own trampoline. This trampoline that I got was from Pure Fun Trampolines. So real quick, I want to do a little review of this here trampoline and talk to you guys about why I like it so much and why maybe you should consider getting one if you want. The first thing that I really like about this trampoline is how well it stands up to the cost-benefit analysis. What I mean by this is how good it is for the price that you pay. A lot of trampolines these days, like Skybounds or Acons, can get into the $1,000 price range, but this one cuts that in half. It comes in at about $400 to $500 US. So that's the first thing that really attracted me to this trampoline. This trampoline is where I learned how to do double backflips, double side flips, combos. I've tried double side flips on it before, and it's such a good trampoline to learn with. See, when anyone tries to get into a sport, whether it be an action sport or just a traditional sport, there's generally a certain amount of gear that you have to purchase in order to start practicing that sport. But the thing is that your parents have probably told you in the past is that you don't want to just put in a bunch of money into a sport that you might not actually like. So it's better to go with more affordable products in the beginning to see if you like the sport, use it for a few years, and maybe eventually you'll want to upgrade. But for me personally, this has been great and I have no plans of upgrading anytime in the near future. It is so hot outside today, guys, but it feels good. I'm not complaining. I like this way more than winter. And finally, the last thing that I really like about this trampoline is that it is quite easy to set up. Now you might be like, why do I care about the setup process? But let me tell you, if you have never set up a trampoline before, they can be such a pain. I've put these trampolines up, I've put them down, I've crossed the springs, I've uncrossed the springs, I've done so much to them, and it's never given me any real problems, and it's a super good trampoline. So if you guys are interested into getting into flipping or anything like that, definitely be sure to check out a Pure Fun trampoline, see if it's right for you. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I'm gonna link Pure Fun down in the description below. You can check out their website for more details, and that's pretty much it. Alright guys, so I'm here at this park, this playground in my neighborhood with this guy right here. Nathan, you gotta put yourself on the record. What is your name?
My name's Nathan. How you doing?
You know how everyone kind of has like those childhood friends, like those friends you just know, or you knew back in the day? I feel like everyone has like at least 2 or 3.
I feel like I'm in an interview right now.
This is one of my childhood friends. What was that?
Tried to do the Chewbacca noise.
Oh, I've got an idea though. I've got an idea.
What's your idea?
Do you remember these? Do you remember these things?
Yes, I do.
No, I can't get it. Oh, I got it. All right. So these little things right here, these are onions. You gotta eat one. It's not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. It's not as harsh as like a regular onion. But alright guys, the entire tone of this video is about to change. I'm about to hop over there and we're going to talk about what you probably clicked on this video for, which is how I personally film my cinematic sequences. Alright guys, so I'm in my room now, and I want to talk to you guys about what you probably clicked on this video for, and something that I've really been asked to do quite a few times. I'm going to be talking about how I film my cinematic sequences. And I wanted to share it with you guys because, like I stated earlier, there are a few things that I do a little bit differently from other people, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Now the first thing that I do is probably, for me, the most important thing, and maybe the most unique thing. The very first thing I do when I'm approaching an edit or a cinematic sequence is I make a reference edit. Now this is something that I came up with on my own, but I'm not necessarily sure if other people do it. I wouldn't be surprised if other people do it just under a different name, but this is just what I call it. What a reference edit is sort of like a mood board for photographers or a storyboard for films. I start by going online and finding a few different travel films or edits that I really like. I'll grab those films offline and then I'll bring them into Premiere Pro and I'll start cutting out the parts of those edits that I want to try to imitate. The keyword here is imitate, not copy, not rip off, just imitate. I chop up the parts of the videos that I want to use for my edit and I change around the pattern until I'm happy with how they are aligned in the timeline. The next thing that I do is I go online and I try to find some music that I want to use for my edit. It is always a good idea to find the music for your edit before you actually start to film. This way, if there are any particular characteristics of the song, you can try to film your video to the beat or quirks of the song. And when you pick the music before you film the edit, you know what sort of emotion or mood you're trying to evoke in your audience, and that way you can better film your clips with that emotion in mind. And after I've done all that, I export my reference edit and I put it on my phone so that when I actually go out to film, I can periodically look back on that edit on my phone. So now after I've done that, the next thing that I do is when I actually arrive at my location, I try to get a fairly even amount of wide shots and close-ups. When someone uses way too many close-up shots, it tends to make the audience disoriented and almost feel sick, so that's something I always try to avoid in my edits. You want to have a fairly even amount of wide shots and close-ups. So generally, I'll start with my wide shots. I usually shoot on my 10 to 18mm Canon lens, and I put that on my Zhiyun crane to try to get some nice wide, swooping shots. After I've captured my wide shots, I like to move into some close-ups. With the close-ups in an edit specifically, I like to choose a general direction to sort of shift my camera. So when I'm in post editing the clips together, there's sort of this general motion that the camera's always sort of moving in. If I got one shot moving this way and then I cut to another moving this way, it starts to feel disoriented again and leaves an unpleasant feeling in the audience's mind. After I've done this, I usually like to grab a couple of time lapses, maybe a hyperlapse or two. This sort of just depends on the edit and the reference edit. The third thing that I usually do is I try to film something that is alive. Now I don't always do this because simply there is nothing living around me at the time. I don't always have a friend with me. There's not always a dog nearby or a bird or a squirrel. So sometimes you just can't film something that's living. But if you can, it's always a good idea to have like a human or an animal or something that's alive inside of your edits. It just makes it more interesting. If it's a human, it allows the audience to place themselves in the shoes of the human. It just adds a level of depth and sort of like production value, if you will, to your edits. It makes them a lot more professional, and if you can, you should definitely have a person or an animal in your videos. Now, like I said, I don't always meet this requirement because there's nothing alive around me and I just don't have friends. So what I do is I set up my tripod and I get stationary shots, or I actually use my Zhiyun crane on the time-lapse mode, and you can actually make it pan on its own automatically without actually having to do anything. But that is pretty much it, guys. That is how I approach filming a cinematic edit. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you didn't, for whatever reason, give it a thumbs down because it helps me know that I'm doing something wrong. If you guys are not subscribed
subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you would hit that button and subscribe. I make a whole bunch of vlogs and tutorials on this channel, so be sure to get outside, guys, film a video, make a difference, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.